Hey, what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. Today I'm excited because we're firing up the smoker and making one of my favorite barbecue treats, smoked pork belly burn-ins. We're going to take a pork belly, break it down into bite-sized pieces, cover that with sweet and spicy dry rubs, smoke that for a few hours, pull it back out, put some sauce on it, just like traditional brisket burn-ins, finish it back off in the smoker, and then we'll be living the dream. If that sounds good to you, stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright, so we're starting out with about a 4.5 pound pork belly here, nothing fancy. I'm going to cut this down in about 1-inch square pieces. They will render down in the smoker somewhat, so don't go much smaller than that. So I guess I'll get this cut and then we'll get the dry rub on it and get that thing loaded up in the smoker. As you saw, I got the pork belly cut down into basically the same size pieces so they'll cook evenly. Now all we have to do is season these. So for today I'm going sweet and spicy like I said in the introduction. So for my sweet, I'm going with this Cosmos Q Honey Killer Bee. It's great flavor. And for my heat, spicy side of things, I'm going with this Hot Dirty Bird. It's just a classic all around good rub. The great thing about this recipe is you can flavor it however you like. You want the whole thing sweet, by all means use your favorite sweet barbecue seasoning. You want the whole thing spicy, go to town. So that being said, I'm going to get this seasoned up and then we'll get it lined up on our smoker rack. Now real quick before I load my smoker with the pork, I want to show you guys one thing. Right here I got 2 cups of apple juice and 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. I like to put that in the bottom of my smoker to keep things moist in the inside the smoker so the pork doesn't dry out too much. You can just use plain water or omit the step completely, but I like to keep that in there. And I'll also make this same thing and spritz it on the pork as it cooks about every 30-45 minutes so nothing dries out. Alright, as you saw, I got the pork belly bites onto the tray for my smoker. It's actually a jerky tray, normal grate, they'll fall through. For the most part, try to keep your fat side up. I mean, it's kind of impossible with some of the pieces, but just do your best. It'll help baste it as it smokes through. My smoker's up to temperature. We're going to be cooking about 250 to 275 for the next, 2 to 3 hours until the internal temperature of the pork bites comes up to about 190, 195. So I'm going to pop this in, give you a view of that, and we'll let it start smoking. Alright, as you can see there, I got my tray with the apple juice and the apple cider vinegar. Got my chips on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and just slide this rack in. Alright, I got my one probe in the meat itself, so we'll know when we hit that 195 degree temperature, and the other probe is just monitoring the overall temperature of the smoker. So we'll close this up and let her get to cooking. Alright, it's been about 30 minutes and we'll go ahead and open this door up. Take a peek and give it a spray with our apple cider and apple juice mixture. We'll close her up and let her keep cooking. And we're going to repeat that process every half hour or so. Our smoked pork belly bites came up to 195 degrees internal temperature, so I went ahead and pulled them out of the smoker. Now what we're going to do is give them a glaze and put them back in there to finish off. So what I'm going to do today, I change it up about every time I cook, but I'm actually going to be using this pineapple heat rib glaze, also from Cosmos Q. Sticking with them today, I guess. Kind kind of a sweet and spicy glaze in itself. And then the standard classic, a little Sweet Baby Ray's, because, you know, everybody loves it. So I'm going to coat these pork belly bites up, and then we'll put them back in the smoker for about another 45 minutes to an hour, just so the glaze is sticky and tacky all over the bites, and they're finished cooking. Food fam, look at how these things turned out. Absolutely amazing. Smoked pork belly burnt ends at their finest. All right, folks, nothing left to do but give these things a taste test. So let's give them a bite, see how it turned out. As always, this batch turned out great. Like I said earlier, I change the flavor profile every time, whether I do it sweet and heat, or sweet and spicy, whatever you want to call it, or just stay sweet or go spicy. Pork belly is absolutely amazing in itself, so you really can't screw it up. This batch in particular, it starts out kind of sweet on the tongue, finishes with a little bite there in the end, so pretty much what I was aiming for. I gotta say, I nailed this batch. Like I said earlier, I did use 2 or 3 Cosmos Q products. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by any means. You can use whatever you want to use. I have my own personal sweet heat rub I like to use on a lot of pork bellies and ribs, so I'll link that down below as well. Other than that, check the links in the description. It'll send you to the website with the walkthrough, you know, the amount of seasoning you need to use, and you can tweak it to what you like. But other than that, Mike here signing off, and until next time, just keep cooking.